Hello, my name is N4M4W45, and today we are going to do things that I don't usually do. First of all, I'm not going to edit. Second of all, I'm going to do a rant. And third of all, I'm going to talk about nerdy stuff. The reason why we're going to be ranting is because it's particularly upsetting to me. I don't really like to vent to the internet. It's not something that I totally approve of, but in some cases I make an exception, like my Steubenville rant quite a few months ago. I'm not going to edit because rants, I feel, are better when they are less edited or not edited at all, and I think I can do this in one take. The reason why I don't talk about nerdy stuff most of the time is I like to try to make videos and topics and things that could interest basically everybody, but this nerdy thing is something that everyone has at least a little bit of interest in because everybody knows it. Spider-Man. Everybody knows Spider-Man. I'm going to be talking about the many deaths of Spider-Man. There have been many deaths of Spider-Man in the past. You know, there was one where Craven killed him and he came back from the dead, and there was this story called The Other where he came back from the dead. All those stories are very good, they're very interesting, and they're very telling of what Peter Parker's character really is. I'm going to be talking about two of the most recent deaths. In 2011, Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley got together and wrote The Death of Spider-Man, which is a fantastic story. It details Ultimate Peter Parker's last battle. It's very epic, very fulfilling, and I used to not like it, actually. I thought that the very, very last few pages were just not substantial. They weren't fulfilling. They was very... Oh, now it's gone. That opinion has since changed as I've gotten more accustomed to the story and have appreciated all the other things that make it great. And it's a fantastic story. It went on for a year with the Death of Spider-Man prelude, and there were several things including, Avengers vs. New Ultimates that tied in with it, and then there was a miniseries called Ultimate Fallout, which a whole bunch of creators took part in, and it's absolutely brilliant. I love Ultimate Fallout. It's such a good story. And it rebirthed with a new Spider-Man, Miles Morales. And he is a very interesting character to fall in love with and to get to know and to root for. And although I dearly miss Peter Parker, Ultimate Peter Parker is a fantastic version of the character. That's not what I'm angry about. What I'm angry about is actual Peter Parker and his actual death in The Amazing Spider-Man number 700. Those of you who know me know that this ticks me off beyond no tomorrow. Let's open this thing and see what we got. So The Amazing Spider-Man 700 is like 3 times bigger than a normal comic book would be. And it is the very last issue of the Amazing Spider-Man run. I didn't realize what I was saying there. It's 700 issues is a lot, and it's been going on since the 60s. Spider-Man, the character is now 75 years old, I think, and it's just an amazing run, doing things like recently Spider Island, which is probably its most popular story in the recent years, and they tried to end it with a bang. They wanted to do something spectacular and amazing and quite possibly ultimate. What they did to do that ticks me off. Imagine this. Dr. Octopus, Otto Octavius, is dying of old age and decrepitness and thousands of diseases. And he thinks of a way to survive. And that way to survive is to transplant his brain into Peter Parker. So they switch brains. Which is a very interesting story. He takes over Peter's life, and Peter is left in Dr. Octopus's brain, trying to fight the disease that is killing him. He does die, and then is jolted back up 3 minutes later, and he is given his final mission to not let Dr. Octopus be in Peter Parker's body. It could ruin everything he's ever built up over the 700 plus issues. So he goes across the city trying to figure out how to work the machine that got him that way in the first place, as he's dying of all these things. Meanwhile, Otto Spider-Man is, getting Mary Jane and Aunt May and the J. Jonah Jameson family and all of his team at the science labs together in one room, presumably because Peter Parker says that Dr. Octopus is loose and he doesn't want any of his loved ones getting hurt. However, it's Octavius who's trying to get all of his loved ones in one place to hurt them. Very horrible, very nasty, and it's really, really good writing so far. I'm really on the edge of my seat. Is Peter Parker going to make it? Peter Parker gets a bunch of bad guys to do his bidding because Dr. Octopus is a master planner who is so good at doing stuff. On the edge of your seat the entire time, Mary Jane and Peter Parker finally get together since the Brand New Day storyline, which erased the entire marriage, which is also another thing that bugs me. But that's for another time, you see, because after the big fight with Otto Octavius and Spider-Man's body, and Spider-Man and Otto Octavius' body, it ends with the death of whoever's in Otto Octavius' body. It was going to be Otto, but he fixed it. He put this thing on the back of his head that prevented the machine from putting him back. So Otto Octavius' body dies with Peter still in it. Peter Parker has died. And he lost. See, I don't want to spoil anything, but in the Death of Spider-Man story for Ultimate Spider-Man, Peter won. At least he won. Peter Parker dies. Otto Octavius in Spider-Man's body is then suddenly flooded with an amazing flashbacks of Otto in Peter's life, witnessing things like Uncle Ben's death and the bite of the spider, and specifically, and Gwen Stacy's death, and he feels and he finally understands that with great power must come great responsibility. So, when Peter finally dies and Otto is left, he decides to become the superior Spider-Man. So now, Otto Octavius' secret identity is Peter Parker, whose secret identity is Spider-Man. Peter Parker does now not exist. Neither in the Ultimate Universe, he has been replaced by Miles Morales, or in the normal universe, where he has been replaced by Otto Octavius. I much prefer Miles Morales, thank you very much. It's so stupid. My favorite superhero destroyed by one of his arch enemies, and now he gets to take over his life. Yeah, he may be on the up and up now. He might be a good guy. That's cool. No, it's not. Be a good guy on your own terms, Otto. Who writes like this? Oh, they destroyed Peter Parker in the normal universe. Ultimate Universe. Let's do it in the normal universe. That totally makes sense. Now nobody can find Peter Parker. Ever. Because he is dead pretty much everywhere. That's done with my rant. Marvel's stupid. Ultimate Marvel is really cool. Miles Morales is really neat. And you can really feel Peter Parker's absence. I have not yet read Superior Spider-Man #1. But really, I don't plan to. Anyway, my name is N4M for W45. Peace of Christ, and imagine on.